One of them probably hit a kid or something, you know?
Yeah. What time does your dial ride pick you up today? What time is my I didn't hear that. What time does your dial ride pick you up today?
Oh, yeah. I am the oldest one here, so feel free to cheer the loudest for me.
He can't hear you otherwise.
That's right, exactly. I need...
Who are the old guys?
Preferably my left ear, okay, because I put the stone on my right.
Not regulation, we got to move these lines out.
How do you know?
Exactly. No stepping.
What'd you compare it to?
Red team can cross the line. You know, because the South already crossed a lot of lines.
Literally cross paths with you.
Danny likes to carry candy in his cargo kilt there, so if you guys need anything.
All right, well, there's a glimpse inside. If you stand close enough to a pro class, you're going to hear a lot of banter, and that's what it sounds like. Great day, great group of dudes all day at the Central Florida Scottish Highland Games down there in Orlando, Florida. Had a decent day all around. I mean, the class was stacked. That's a good word for it. Very well matched. Also, it's a good term we could use. I had a decent day for me, especially considering it's January and I haven't been outside to practice yet. Not since I left Mississippi. Stones were all right. Ended up with about the same thing I almost always get. I think I had a 37-foot something Braemar stone and a 45-ish open stone, and that's about what I do. Thankful that my stone ability kind of stays about the same no matter what I do or don't do. But also, maybe I should put some effort into it like a damn professional. Speaking of professional, let's watch this handsome guy who knows how to throw stones throw this dang thing. He had a good day. He pushed this open stone out over 50. So I was happy to see that for Nick. He had a good day all around even. I mean, just was a stud of a performance again for January, not that bad. He actually cheated though, because he does get to go outside and practice, so I ain't gonna hold that against him. Then we had a traditional order, so we went right into the heavyweight after the stones, and again, I'm not gonna complain about my day. Heavyweight, I threw, best throw of the day was 38 and some change, I think. You'll see here, I was really getting busy getting through that trig. I was right up on the trig board on all three throws, which I like that. That means I would rather have that than finishing way back. I can do some things to take some distance off of those pushes, and I tried to do so, but it wasn't as successful as I wanted to. But man, I liked the way I felt. I felt really in control of the weight. So shows me that the things that I'm doing in the gym are really paying off with that sandbag. So a couple of bad habits that surfaced themselves up while I was throwing that heavyweight. But again, nothing to be mad at. You're going to see some footage from some other people. As Rick Simmons, he's been taking it easy too. He's recovered from a couple of surgeries, basically back to back. So he's just kind of taking it easy, trying to see where the body is. And he'd had a pretty good performance as well. I mean, this whole class was just consistent and performed well. Colin Dunbar, the American Highlander with his beautiful locks, and that man knows how to get a crowd going. So we're thankful to have him with us. The crowd is thankful to have him out there because he is definitely a showman and a hell of a thrower. He had a good day. I think it went Nick first and Colin second overall. Colin definitely had some good throws out there. I think there was a couple things I think he wished he did a little better on, but hey, he doesn't cheat by practicing, so I'll give that to him. Maybe second place, but first place in our hearts. Florida's own Anthony Carville, big, strong man, preparing for a bodybuilding show, as a matter of fact. So he's lost a bit of weight, about 20 pounds, he says, and that can definitely affect you. If you're a seasoned Highland Games thrower, you understand that, your weight matters a little bit. I'm not saying you need to be heavy, but losing 20 pounds, so when you're used to throwing at that 20 pounds heavier body weight, it's not the same when you throw the weight at a lighter body weight. You really sometimes just got to have some ass. That's all it comes down to, especially if you're used to it. So I believe this was my second throw and my best throw, I believe. If not, all my throws are right there really close to each other, but I think this might have been my best throw. And again, really like how I was moving through the trig there. I was able to save that throw a little bit. I kicked that board pretty hard with my left foot, so it's hard to tell on the video, but I definitely did. Celebrating pre-celebration. It was hard not to be happy down here, man. Florida, for an Alaska man in the Florida wild in January, it's hard not to be happy. And that crowd was great, man. That crowd was wild. Loved them. They got a pretty good free-ranging beer garden thing going on down there that I think more places should adopt if they can. So I loved it. And here we are on the heavyweight. Only thing I was thinking on this is go fast. This is my second throw. I was really flat on the first throw, so I was thinking go fast, but also get a steep orbit. And you can see I went pretty steep there. That thing went sky high. I think I threw it like 68-something feet. Wasn't the best throw ever, about 10 feet off my best, but I did get it up there. Did exactly what I was cueing to do leading into the throw. So, hey, I'll take it, right? You know, you can only cue on one thing at a time. It's important to remember that as you're throwing. You don't want to rattle your brain, especially on games day with a whole bunch of stuff in your stupid little head about how to do this or what to do here. Yeah, get it up there. That was a steep in the orbit and go fast. Those were the two cues. Left some footage of Isaac Burchett in here because that dude is fun to watch throw, just like his brother Nathan. They're great to have as part of a group. Good with the banter, just fun. Know how to keep it light, and also they're just really talented throwers. So it's like I said, fun to be around them. I don't know why the dude's got his hat on forward though. I don't know. Maybe somebody should send him a message, tell him you can't throw a hammer with your hat on forward. He might have beat me though, so maybe you can't throw a hat with or throw a hammer with your hat on forward. I don't know. Maybe he didn't beat me in this. Actually, I think it did beat. This might have been one of the the hammers. Might have been the thing that I beat him on. I don't have the result in front of me, and I'm not a scientist, so whatever. But yeah, great dude to have in the group, and looking forward to being able to throw with him again in the future. So like I said, I had a decent day on the hammers. Again, January, right? Everything's in perspective. I haven't thrown a hammer outdoors. I've just been doing wines. So the good thing that I think everybody can take away from my experience is you can maintain some of your hammer ability without even being able to throw that daggone thing. So whether you don't have the space, it's like you're dealing with weather like I deal with, etc. You can just go out in your dang yard, in a big warehouse, a garage, and wind that hammer around your dang head and maintain. I'm not going to say you're going to get a lot better necessarily, unless you've got a lot better to get, but you can maintain your hammer ability. The heavy hammer, I went about 99. Usually my cutoff is 100 to feel good, and 99 is close to damn enough to 100, all right? And then I went like 119 in the light hammer, and I fouled the shit out of the last light hammer. So, you know, just like the fish that got away, we get to call those fouls where they felt good. Really good throw. So I probably threw it like, I don't know, 135 or something. Yeah, it's my story. So prove me wrong. How about that?
Spread your cheeks. Smile, I mean.
So that's Matt McDougall getting his award for weights. He threw both the heavyweight and the lightweight pretty well. He threw heavyweight 45.9 or 45.4 maybe, and he threw lightweight 7 or 83 and some change. So he's been working on those weights, and it shows. I think this is just the beginning for that man right there. He is really going to set the world on fire. Give guys like Kyle Lilly and Glenn Neese and Vladislav a run for their money in the weights for sure. So excited to see what he's going to be doing here in the next few months. He's got some very ambitious goals, and I believe in Matt. So I think you should too. I caught his hammers. This is where I think he needs the most work, but he's so goddamn strong that he can just throw it far even without finesse. I don't know. Maybe strength accounts for something or something. All right, so this is my first throw on the light hammer. I did pretty good, like 118 feet on the opening throw, which was, hey, I'll take that. Normally I'm a little more conservative. I felt like I was being conservative. You'll see on this one I actually stayed nice and long, so maybe I was kind of being conservative. The only, I think, critique I got for myself that's would present a much better throw would be to stay longer and push more at the end, kind of open up more at the end, I guess. So I'm pretty happy with the results of 118.4. I'll take that any day of the week. And here's our boy Nick Aston. He comes to throw hammers and he throws the shit out of them. Look how long the dude gets and then resets. But just from his initial whine, that's something I try to replicate a little bit, and I kind of forget about it when I get up in front of everybody. I get nervous or something. I don't know. But getting so long, I think that first whine really does a lot to kind of set the tempo and set the tone of what needs to happen through the rest of the throw. And he threw on the day like 142 feet on an extra, I think, or 140-foot-1 on an extra. So, super good thrower, talented. So this was my best throw at 119, almost 120. You can see I'm getting my hips side to side really well. Super happy about that. But once again, I didn't deliver my finish very well. And in fact, I felt like I tweaked my low back just a little bit, kind of pulled a muscle because I didn't get my right hip through or my left hip back, however you want to look at it. Didn't get posted up on that left side very well and then pushing the right hip through. Probably could change my stance just a tiny bit, open myself up at the beginning a little bit to make that a little bit better. But honestly, you're at the mercy of how torn up the ground is. And after a full class of people wearing boots, that ground is pretty torn up. So you kind of get the boots in where you can. Your stance kind of ends up how it ends up. And this is the third and final throw. Well, like I said, I threw this one to the moon. Yeah, it was basically off the charts. Probably would have won the whole thing, set a world record or something. Again, my story. Prove me wrong. Definitely, the foul. The foul wasn't like, oh man, I almost could have saved that. But again, the ground got to be at mercy. And then, poof, theatrics, right? Me pitching a big, old hissy baby fit. I fell down, so serves me right, I guess. And I think the highlight of my day really was this, the weight over bar, made bittersweet by the fact that I got 9th place with a dang 16-foot tie for a PR for me. This is not the 16-foot throw. I filmed it vertical, so I ain't throwing it in here, but this was a smooth 15-footer. Right over, no problems. Woo! Celebration a la Wes Kaiser / Garrett Blatnick. So, yeah, it was good. And that just testament to how stacked the class was with 10 people throwing at 16 feet. 10 out of 12. That's wild. And then there's Colin Dunbar collecting his hardware for winning the Chief at, I don't know, he threw it to the sky. Looks like maybe I did leave okay, well, deal with the vertical video because this is the smoothest I have ever thrown 16 feet. I've only ever thrown it outside of practice twice, I think, in games. So I'm, like I said, stoked that I got a 16-foot and stoked at how clean it was. Just kidding. That was my 17-foot throw that I missed. So, never mind. I did hit 16 feet, though. Suck it. And here we are wrapping up our day with the best event, the caber. This is the same caber I threw back in Mississippi in October. It's a decent stick. I wouldn't say it's a pro stick for every pro games. Definitely a challenging caber for most A classes, but it wasn't wild. Like, I think 20 feet and 110, I don't know, somewhere around there. Decent taper on it. But it's got a knots all over it, and it's got that stupid hoof at the top. You can kind of see it as he's raising it up there. It's got a stupid hoof that'll make it do funny things when it hits the ground if you don't point it in the right direction. And I didn't until my last throw, which was a no turn because my grip slipped and I didn't throw it at all hardly. So, at any rate, not overly challenging weight-wise. Pretty easy to pick, although I think I can pick almost any caber in the world. Pretty easy to run with. Just kind of at the mercy of the hoof, I guess. It was all right. So I threw like 11:45 and a 12:15. There were people, I mean, I think I was 9th place on that as well with an 11:45 and a 12:15. I mean, this was a talented group of individuals, and I loved every minute of it. Hope I get to throw with most of these guys again this year, or I hope I get to throw with all of them, honestly. So that's a wrap on the 2025 Central Florida Scottish Highland Games. And again, I loved this event. I hope I get invited back again. Gary Stevens puts on a hell of a games. He runs it super smooth. A lot going on the field. The people that were there, the assembly, the cast, if you will.
That's illegal in California.
Hey, it was incredible. Some great awards given out. Pretty cool. The after party at the hotel pool. He gave out some pretty cool gifts too. I didn't get all of them on film, but it was a nice personal touch. So once again, thanks Gary, thanks Florida, thanks Central Florida Scottish American Club. It was a blast. All right, till next time, y'all.